I'm going to play every Forza game that has ever released in this video, so any support would go a long way. Enjoy. And here we are, starting off on Forza Motorsport. Came out in 2005, the very first one of the Forza series, and here we are. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is Forza Motorsport. I don't know if there's difficulty or anything. I haven't really touched anything at all. I've literally just kind of got into a race, but I am miles in front of everyone. And by miles, I'm like a whole corner in front of everyone. Is there different? Oh, there is different cameras. Okay, I didn't actually see how many laps there were either. Oh my gosh. Oh, there isn't. Oh, okay, there's not a cockpit cam. They weren't that advanced back then, you know. This was the first. I don't know if this will show in the video, but there's like 30 hertz or something. I don't know. There's definitely not 60, that's for sure. But the refresh rate is not the best on the first Forza Motorsport game. Understandably, of course. I never actually played this back in the day. My first Forza was Motorsport 3, 2009. But then I got Forza Motorsport 2 as well, like afterwards. So I don't know. I went backwards, kind of. 2 laps, okay, that was it. That was it. Forza Motorsport 2 with the awesome intro music. Like, listen to that, bro. I mean, to be fair, a lot of them used to have really good intros back in the day. I think I'm still somewhere in the career mode. I don't actually know. I have no idea what cars I've got. I think I had to get this car for a video, which I don't think I ever uploaded. Am I going to beat the AI? That is the question. And at least the frames are smoother as well now. I hope you guys can see that anyway. They definitely feel a lot smoother on Motorsport 2, that's for sure. I think it was like a year or two apart from the first Motorsport, but as you can see, graphically, obviously it's changed a lot. So the 360 could obviously handle better graphics, hence why this looks a whole lot better than what the original Motorsport did. So when I got this game, obviously I got it after Motorsport 3, so I was comparing it towards that, but they were both pretty fun games, you know. Obviously Motorsport 3 was the more advanced one, but Motorsport 2 still had so much to offer. It obviously had a lot of cars at the time anyway. It had all of the returning courses and more from the original Motorsport. I think it was just a lot of fun, you know. It played really well. It played very similar to the original Motorsport and obviously Motorsport 3. And I think at the time we all absolutely loved that. Yeah, to what I remember as well of this game, it's really long. Like the career modes, I mean, as you can see, I've only really been playing through the Europe one, and that took me hours and hours. Back then, if you're paying like, you know, 40 quid for a game, you're really getting a lot of content out of it, which is why I guess the Motorsport games, they always obviously take a lot longer. Yeah, they get a bit boring, but you've got hours of content there, whereas obviously Horizon, not really, compared to these anyway. And there we go. The final lap is done, and that is it for Forza Motorsport 2. And here we are, Forza Motorsport 3. As I said, my first ever proper Forza game that I ever owned. I played way too many hours in this back in the day. Anyway, let's just, as per usual, go into the career mode, which is season play in this game. Get an event bonus of 11 grand as well. You can also quick upgrade, which was very handy. I don't actually know if this is going to help much or not, but I'll take it, you know. Bunch of Ford Focuses. Obviously, mine's going to be the best. Always is. Overtake them on the side. No penalties in this game either. So you can do whatever you want, pretty much, and you won't get done over for it. Back in the day, I used to play this all the time. Like, I'd literally get home from school, and that'd be it. My evening would just be playing Motorsport 3. On the weekends, I used to play it with my mates. So it was like a money grinding method that I actually remember. It was basically a rectangular track. I can't remember how long the laps actually were, but you could do them insanely quick. So we used to just do like 50 laps of that in one of the R3 like race cars, and that's how you got your money, you know. And then that's how you leveled up. That's how you got everything pretty much. So yeah, I used to do that all the time. My mate, we used to obviously go online. We used to, I think this was when they first introduced Infected as well, where you'd basically get like 8 people in a lobby or something, and then you go onto one of these tracks, and you could obviously drive wherever you wanted on the track. and you just have to survive, you know, dodge people. I think it's called like It or Cat and Mouse or something, I can't remember. But they did have mini games on that, and they were also a ton of fun. Forza Motorsport 3 really had it all, you know. But I'd still say this and Forza Motorsport 4 are easily still the best motorsport games to ever release. Easily. Okay, I should not have changed camera angle at that time. But there we go. That is a race done in Forza Motorsport 3. Here we go. Forza Motorsport 4. Ferrari 458 Italia. This has like always been one of my favorite cars, so of course I had to pick it for this video. That, and it's also the cover car. Also, this is probably one of the best tracks that they actually had introduced. Like, obviously a lot of the tracks are decent, but I remember playing this one for the first time. I just really enjoyed it so much. It was so good. There was also a sense of speed as well in the motorsport games, which was cool. Like, as you can see, we're obviously traveling at 175 miles an hour, but you can see like proper camera shake and everything, and I've gone off the course. Oh no. Right, here we go. I'm just gonna absolutely send it down here. Let's see if there is. I mean, you've probably seen it anyway whilst I've been driving, but you can see it more when I'm traveling at this kind of speed. It's mad. Absolutely mad. Oh, got a bit of air then. I didn't even realise I was concentrating so much. Okay, and there we go. So that was a race in the Ferrari 458, obviously on the Alps in Motorsport 4. This is Forza Horizon. This menu screen alone just brings back so much nostalgia for me. It does actually look incredible as well, because we're on... Okay, thanks. Because we're on the Series X, so obviously the game's going to look a lot better than what it did back in 2012. I don't even know where to begin, really. There's so much to do, so much I could talk about. Maybe I should just make a separate video on Forza Horizon. This was like the first time we ever experienced an open world racing game within the Forza franchise. And it just works so well. Obviously, we had a proper story, you know, you started from the very bottom. But yeah, you'll see on the map, obviously, we've got the main festival area, which I'll actually quickly go to. So a lot of you probably haven't played this game. But yeah, this was it, you know, there was like a main stage area, but it was just the one, you know, there wasn't like multiple of them around the festival. It was just one big festival with everything that you possibly needed around the circle. We also had these as well. You can actually share details of. It's a Star Showdown, and I'm gonna actually go and do this race. Okay. In a Celine S7. I'm obviously gonna win. Easily. Okay, what I said before, completely ignore that. But yeah, the first Forza Horizon for me is easily my favorite one that has ever come out. Obviously, all of them have been good in their own way, but I think in terms of a story-driven game, this is easily the best one. Like, it had proper cutscenes, it had progression, you know, you started from the bottom to work your way to the top, and you weren't really awarded, like, you know, the super fast cars until later on, when you could afford to buy them. Easily. Oh, she crashed. She crashed. Right, thank God. Okay, right, goodbye. Getting back onto topic, sorry. There's just so much progression in this game. The story, I think it was actually pretty long, that's what I remember. Like, I've played through it a couple of times, like in the past, obviously the first time when I got it, and then again, when my data deleted itself, you know, lovely, lovely. Everything about this game was just really good, man. It was such a solid game, and if you haven't played it, and you have an Xbox One, you can actually pick up the disc version of the game and it will work. So I definitely recommend doing it, because this is easily one of the best ones you'll ever play, hands down. But there we go. I can't remember if you win the car or not. What are we saying? We do. Now, there was actually one more thing I wanted to do before we leave, and I didn't really want to cover any DLC, but as you can see, we had a rally mode in Forza Horizon, and we haven't had it since, so we know that it can be a thing, hopefully in the future, but it was so much fun. It's actually like proper, obviously, like rally callouts, like it feels like a rally expansion for the game, which is sick. And let's go into this HUD, just so it feels like the true experience, you know. Now, obviously, it wasn't the best, but back in the day when I played it, it was so much fun. I absolutely love this. So playing it now, obviously, as a rally experience, it's all right. But it's still really fun. Yeah, because obviously we had the off-road events anyway in Horizon, but we didn't have them like this, you know, with the proper call-outs or anything. I trolled. I might have actually trolled. No, I didn't. It's fine. So this was the first Forza game to come out on the Xbox One, obviously a new generation of consoles then. So apparently the last time I was on this, I was using a F1 car. Like, what? Yeah, this wasn't the race I was expecting coming back to Motorsport 5, but here we are, and straight into the back of someone already. I forget that the AI, like the older games, just fully break when they don't need to. 4 laps to talk about Forza Motorsport 5. What can I remember? No idea. Forza Motorsport 5 was kind of when the Motorsport franchise started to dip, you know, started taking the wrong path going forward, and they kind of just progressively got worse. But they started introducing cards that you could use in races to give you like bonuses and stuff, and I don't think anyone really liked that idea. You know, it didn't really feel like a motorsport kind of thing. I think with this one as well, they tried a lot of stuff. They also tried to improve upon Motorsport 4 a lot, but yeah, it didn't really work out too well. And obviously me driving a car like this in Motorsport is a bit different, so I'm pretty sure on top of them trying a lot of new things in Motorsport 5, adding different classes of vehicles like this was also something they chose to do. And like for the Xbox One as well, it's a pretty good looking game, you know. I mean, granted, all of the Forza games that have come out have always been pretty decent when it comes to graphics, haven't they? It's something they're kind of known for. But like looking at this, you wouldn't really think it came out in 2013, would you? My boy over there as well, waving around. I never even realised that was there. And across the line. I don't actually think Motorsport 5 was that bad, but it just felt really you know. But compared to something like this, anything feels boring really, doesn't it? And here we are with Forza Horizon 2, and we're at a car meet, which is a first for the series, and honestly something that should definitely make a return as well, because it was actually pretty decent. I forget how good the car sounds were in Horizon 2 as well. They were decent, man. Like, just listen to this. See what I mean? They were doing it right back in the day. They really did. So yeah, this is the next entry in the Horizon series. Obviously another open world racer. This time it's a lot more open world. As you can see, the map is a lot bigger. You can go across more of the land, if that makes sense. You can actually smash through fences and go across the fields and stuff this time. Whereas obviously in the first one you couldn't. We also had stuff like the bucket list, which was a first into the series. Something I kind of wish that they never got rid of either, because it just gave you something else to do. It's a skill challenge, so I'm assuming around this dock area, we just need to get, yeah, okay, 100,000 points. Which is nice and simple, you know? You know, like you didn't have to do it. I don't think many people really cared too much about these. But if you like to play through a Horizon game, like I'm sure many of you do, doing stuff like this, it's just fun. You know, it's just a little fun activity to do if you're bored. Right, that should be enough. Please, I hope. Yeah, it is. Perfect. Right. There we go. That is one of the bucket lists done. So the career mode actually worked completely different on Horizon 2. So at the start, you'd be doing a road trip, essentially. So say you start at the Horizon Festival, drive from there to, let's say, Nice, for instance. And once you arrive, you'll then have like 4 events that you have to complete. The wristbands were also still a thing, which was great. Each time you leveled up, you got a different color wristband. And yeah, the progression actually felt decent in this game, you know. It was good. Not a lot of people were a huge fan of the road trips. I mean, to be honest, I got kind of bored of them after a few because they were quite tedious, just going back and forth on, you know, the same road trips over and over again. But aside from that, it was a pretty solid campaign, you know. You obviously had the showcase events again, you had a bigger map, you had more to explore. And I think this is probably one of the best settings they've ever done in France and Italy. Easily one of the best places they've done. Like, the roads are just great, the scenes are great as well. Everything about it is really good. I think a lot of people as well, if you ask them, if you said, what's your favorite Forza Horizon game, it would be a toss-up between this one or the first one. Oh, absolutely speeding. There we go.
Good driving, mate, but don't get complacent. You have to keep this up if you want to be Horizon champion.
Also, Ben, an absolute homie back in the day. Miss him. What a dude. That is Forza Horizon 2. Now, next up is actually Forza Horizon 2 again, but with a twist. Yeah, this is it. This is exactly what I meant. Gonna have to mute this because copyright. Lovely. But Forza Horizon 2 presents Fast and Furious. This was the thing back in the day. Now, although I got into the Supra, I'm pretty sure you can only use one car for the event that I want to do, which is this one here. So we do have to use Dom's Charger for this one, which is the 1970 Charger. So this is actually the final event, and obviously in Fast and Furious fashion, it is completely over the top. You have to race against a cargo plane, which is a common thing for Forza anyway. But obviously with Fast and Furious, it all kind of makes sense, you know. But the other cool thing about it being Fast and Furious, as you'll see when it eventually loads, there is a very cool feature that we haven't had since this, and we'll probably never have again. And that is NOS. As you can see, in the bottom right corner, we've got the little blue bar going up the side. That is indeed NOS, which I will use just around the corner here. It is a thing. They have made it before. It would be sick to see it return. So here's hoping in the future, even if it is like exclusive to a DLC or something, it'd be just sick to have this. The objective, race everyone in all of the cars that are in the garage originally and get to the airfield. I mean, it kind of makes sense. We're up against a massive cargo plane, so I'm going to take a wild hint that we've got to go to the runway. We get to do it in Dom's Charger with NOS, like, well, as I'm getting rammed into by every possible AI behind me. Okay, to that corner right, I thought I was going to absolutely throw it off into the side then. But I took that like a champ and just completely cut that corner. See, that's the one good thing about Horizon 2, is you can just do stuff like that. Use a bit of NOS to get past them. All right, okay. And this is the final bit of the event. Behind the P1, should be able to get in front of it up here though. Right, here we go. Got to beat the plane. Still got plenty of NOS left as well, which I can probably use all of it. Yeah, I'll just hold it down. Oh no. Yeah, I could have. Nice. Almost reached 200 miles an hour as well. That is Forza Horizon 2 presents Fast and Furious. Okay, up next we have Forza Motorsport 6. So yeah, Motorsport 6 was meant to be an improvement on Motorsport 5. On the most part it was, but then they also had the mod cards as well, and no one really liked them, to be honest. Graphically, Motorsport 6 was improved a lot as well over 5, so visually it looked a lot better. I think the overall gameplay experience as well, I think people just preferred this even over Motorsport 7 potentially. I think people like this more. To be honest, I don't really know like what to speak about with this game, because it literally is just Motorsport 5 just visually better and with a better gameplay experience, to be honest. Now Motorsport 7, when I get onto that, is slightly different, so I guess I do have more to talk about. Yeah, on the most part, they're all pretty much the same. All right, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to overtake this this Merc. It's just way too far up ahead. I can't catch up to it, man. I know, I've got to be a bit dirty, but there we go. But is it going to overtake me on the straight? Probably. I mean, it's already gaining. Block it. That car usually though would beat me. So that was Forza Motorsport 6, but there's actually another version of it which technically is also its same game, which we'll jump into right now. So as I said, Forza Motorsport 6 is also on PC, but it's not what you think. It is Forza Motorsport 6 Apex. Basically just little tour events that you could do, and you could earn medals and stuff from it. As you can see, I've got platinum ones here, then the rest are gold, because it is actually quite hard, to be fair. But I think this race here would probably be good. We do like Rio, and get to use the Ford GT, which was the cover car for this game. So let's jump into that. Okay, here we go. I do have it on max settings. Again, this was like kind of a benchmark test to see what Forza would be like on PC. It's obviously a complete different feel to the full Motorsport game, where you've got objectives on the sides. Obviously, I do have a driving line on, which means that I've already failed that objective. Good passes, which I've now done, and then a 2 minute 40 lap time, which I should be able to do. I'd say I'm pretty decent at Forza, so that should be fine. The overall gameplay experience, as it was free to play, wasn't too long. It was cool though to have it, you know. It felt nice to play a Forza game on PC for the first time. At the time as well, my computer was absolute garbage, so I remember playing this back when it released. I couldn't have like any of the max settings or anything. So now to be able to experience that, feels good, man. Feels good. Tried my best to get in front of all of these, otherwise I'll be stuck behind the pack forever. I think to get platinum as well, you had to get all of the objectives, which wasn't too bad. So if I really wanted to, I could go back and get them all, but I don't care enough. I don't care. This game's too old now, man. So now up in first, obviously the main objective that we got left is to place 6th or higher, which, as you can see, is definitely going to be the case. I will win. And there we go. That is a Forza Motorsport 6 Apex, and that is done. And here we are with Forza Horizon 3. Playing this with 60 FPS is just so much better. Like, I wish that if you had a Series X or a Series S, there was an option on console to play Horizon 3 with an unlocked frame rate. It would be nice, but we can always dream, can't we? Horizon 3 was really ahead when it came to like graphics and stuff. Like I remember playing this when it came out in 2016, and I was just amazed at how good it looked, you know, even on a console. Like on PC right now, it just looks even better. Like I got it at max everything, and this game looks stunning. And that's the wall. Everyone absolutely loved this game. I sunk so many hours into Horizon 3. I used to play it every single day pretty much when it came out, and it was just really fun. There was always loads to do. So the game itself being set in Australia, it was really good for just the environment. Like obviously you had loads of different areas. Like now we're in the jungle, you had a few different beach areas, you had a main city. It was great, man. So good. So another cool feature that this game actually had was custom blueprints, so you could make your own one if you really wanted to. And to any of you that played Forza Horizon 3 back in the day or watched a lot of YouTube videos, you'll probably notice this. The whole premises of this challenge is to get to a set location in this car, but with a twist. As you'll see right now, you can't change the camera, so you're stuck to this. And you've got to dodge and weave through all the traffic on the way, but you can't be slow either. You have to be quick. All right, I've got just over 30 seconds left. That is a car there. Hello. Send it around there. Right, 25. Am I going to make it? I don't know if I'm actually going to make this or not. All right, it's counting down. Am I going to do it? It's pretty close. I did. Okay. I actually managed to do it first try. Let's go. Where am I? Okay, 39th. Not bad. I don't know how many people did it. Overall, 192. But yeah, pretty sick. That was a lot of fun. Okay, Forza Motorsport 7 is next. It is currently the last Forza Motorsport within the series. Obviously, we're getting a brand new one very soon. All right, here we go. Straight off the bat, you'll see that the camera effects and like motion and everything has completely changed. Like it's very shaky. It shakes a lot, especially when you go at a high speed as well. Obviously, visually, it looks absolutely stunning. Like I actually picked this course because the lighting is so good on the Dubai circuit. It also had a lot of content to offer as well. Like as I said, it's like 100 hours of gameplay that you could get into throughout the career mode, which is very similar to a lot of them. But I think this was easily up there as probably the most we've had in a very long time. Also, the sounds in this tunnel as well are immaculate. It also feels kind of weird to drift as well. Like, I don't know if you can really see it as an example there, but like the camera, obviously it focuses on the car, but because it's shaking so much, and I've completely spun out. Great. But when you go into corners as well, you can see it kind of edges around a tiny bit. Whereas on the other games, we don't really have that, you know, it doesn't edge around the corner of the car. But to be honest, for me, I thought it was actually all right. Like, you feel more immersed in the game, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm just losing the plot, I don't know. I've never actually seen that. And all the time I've played this game, I don't know if I've just never noticed it, but I've never seen, like, anyone, including the AI, use the pitting lane. You don't have to use the pit lane, really. Like, I don't think anyone really does. There's no reason to. Obviously, games like Gran Turismo, you have to. Whereas this game, I've never really seen the point, you know. Approaching the finish line. And there we go. Here we are with Forza Horizon 4. What a time for me to pick to play this game, as it's in my least favourite season, which is winter, of course. So jumping straight into Horizon 4, there's a lot of cool features that we actually had within this game, obviously aside from it being set in Britain, which is where I'm from, so bonus points there. There was lots of new, really awesome features that were added with this game. Obviously the festival playlist, we had player houses that you could purchase if you really wanted to. Super 7, we had the Eliminator, which if any of you are long-term fans of my channel, you'd know that I love the Eliminator. We also had the Horizon stories, which are pretty neat, to be fair. They were nice and simple on the most part. Obviously, we still see them now in Horizon 5. But yeah, overall, this game just had loads to offer with it. But one of the bad things that this game featured, as you probably saw at the beginning of the video, was the fact that there's different seasons. Now, of course, it's obviously Playground Games trying something new, which is completely understandable, to be fair, but not a lot of people really liked these seasons too much, especially the winter. And I, for one, yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the winter, not gonna lie. That was a bit of a no-no on this game, but aside from that, I think it was actually a pretty decent game, you know. Another cool thing as well with Horizon 4 is that it's actually still getting regular updates now. Obviously, it's not getting brand new content added to the game, but they're still updating the festival playlist with, you know, old cars that people might have missed out on that are too expensive on the auction house. And they're just trying to keep it fresh, you know. So the game is still going, which is pretty sick. Horizon 4 was actually a lot of players' first Horizon game, which is kind of mad to think about. But yeah, obviously a lot of people were introduced to this series quite later on. So if any of you watching this, if this is your first Horizon game you ever played, let me know down below. Be pretty curious to see, you know, if some of you did start from here. Now, I could ramble on about this game for absolutely ages, but I need to try and keep every segment short and sweet. We'll finish up this race and then we'll jump into the cursed game that I didn't want to play, which is Forza Street. I don't even know where to start with this game, man. I really don't. It's not the best. It ain't the best. Oh, okay, don't worry. I don't actually have to play it. Forza Street servers are now closed. Okay, thanks for playing. Well, I don't have to play that train wreck of a game, do I? To end the playing every Forza game in one video, we have Forza Horizon 5, released in 2021 and currently the most up-to-date released game within the series. Let's jump into it. Okay, here we go. Now, Horizon 5. Oh man, I could sit here and ramble for ages about this game. Now, obviously, it is the latest entry within the series. It's also got a lot of absolutely fantastic features and some maybe not so fantastic ones about it, but you know, let's stay positive for this. So visually, I'm sure everyone can agree this is by far the best looking game that has released so far. Game is absolutely stunning. You know, obviously the lighting and the visual graphics as a whole are just phenomenal in this game. They're really, really good. A lot of good things that came with it. We've got an absolutely ginormous map. It's set in Mexico, which is awesome. Really good setting, actually. Absolutely ginormous car list. I think it's something like 600 to 700 cars. I honestly can't remember. I just know it's a lot. And we're still getting regular updates now. Obviously, the game's not even a year old yet. So this car I'm driving now, the BMW, this is brand new that was added in one of the recent updates. And obviously, they've still got plenty more stuff planned for the future as well, which is pretty sick. So yeah. And we also still have another DLC. When that comes out, I don't know. Probably next year. Maybe even potentially the end of this year, but I feel like it'll probably be next year. We had a lot of stuff return from Horizon 4, such as the Eliminator. Obviously, that made a return. We had the Horizon Stories. We had Super 7, which I don't think many people really use, but a lot of people use the Event Lab, which is probably the best feature about this game, actually. Event Lab is so, so cool. The amount of creations that people make just blows my mind. Like, I see it on Twitter all the time, and it is actually mental. So overall, Horizon 5 is definitely a solid game. I'm excited to see where they're going to go with the rest of the Horizon franchise from here. Hopefully, Horizon 5 stays strong for however long it's got left. And this has been the video. Damn, I've really played all of them in one video. Okay, it's been very draining, all right? Very, very draining. It takes a long time. If you made it this far, let me know your favorite game from the franchise in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video real soon. Peace.